This is Lucky here at Team Kaiju Thunder, and I saw in the last video that somebody would want to see some replays of my Kaiju-Exodia deck, so that's what this video is. I'll comment on certain plays, but for the most part, it'll be pretty. You can see what's happening on. So I start with the Curry Bandit, middle of the top 5, hoping to get some pieces, and grab the terraforming. I'm up against what looks like Nova Kaiju or Chronomalies, something of that sort, but primarily a cyber deck. When you're up against Infinity, there are times that you pretty much don't want to activate anything unless if you have a double way out. So that's what the Slumber was. So I used Obliterate to use up his activation that would save him. That way I can get all of my stuff on the board and get rolling. Yep. He has his own kaiju, and then he kills me, but luckily, Obliterate, that means next turn I'm going to bounce that back to his hand, and he can't do jack about it. Gamma Seal for the win. Tries to summon him again, but that's when Obliterate comes in. You just turn him back, get Exodia on the field, and now I got Incarnate, Kaiju, and then the Kaiju token. So that's game 1. This deck is Dollface. If you don't know, it requires your opponent tries to banish Dollface and get all the monsters removed from your deck, and in the meantime he gains life points. So it's pretty much a control deck. Some people fear it, some people have no trouble getting around it, but Penguin Soldier, I couldn't believe that I saw that in this actual duel. That was funny. Okay. This card right here is an interesting one. Side effects. It's where I am allowed to get to draw 1 to 3 cards, and he gains 2,000 for each card I decide to draw. So I don't think I've ever actually seen this in a real deck as well. So I chose to draw 2 because that's a safe number without giving my opponent too many life points. I want to be able to kill him. But yeah. I use Jar of Avarice to send all of my spells and traps and a Kaiju back to the deck. Foolish Burial to Exodia piece, and now I got a 4,000 Exodia Incarnate. Yeah. Trade in to combo off the Gamma Seal that's in there. This card is seriously underappreciated. I've considered actually putting in some of my regular decks. Just in my case, if my opponent does have a Kaiju, I can just put it face down. And also, if it gets destroyed, you get a draw 2. So, with Twin Twisters being so popular, that's like a pot of greed right there. Alright. This area that just happened, where he summoned Dollface and activated his effect, I used Gamma Seal to remove 2 counters to negate and banish. But Dollface also has an effect when it gets banished, so I had another 2 counters to negate its activation from the banish pile. And after that, he just gave up. Here's another one. This is against Ritual Fairy. This one's really quick. Gets a Herald of Perfection. And this was problematic right here. Because with this, I can't kaiju anything, but I totally lucked out and had my Jizukiru up. So what I did was I tried to bait him out until he used his 1 negate. So luckily, then I placed my field spell, get Jizukiru, and then Kaiju, and then he just gives up because he has nothing. And ooh, contract with Exodia. Yeah, he had nothing left. And then this one is Versus Invoked, which is a pretty popular engine. It's also the Wind Witch, so Wind Witch Invoked. So you're gonna be seeing that Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon. That is normally extremely hard to kill, but with this deck being a troll deck, it made it actually quite easy. Once you get this card on the field, oh man, Waterfront is extremely annoying for your opponent. Alright, so he plays his invoked fusion guy, and then to get his fusion invocation spell. But what he does, as soon as he activated this, I activated Jar of Avarice, and I put all of my monsters back into the deck. That way he can't use any of it, and he's forced to use his own, but everything has to be from his side and his graveyard. So I use Waterfront to get myself my Kaiju, Exodia Flame to return it back to my hand, and now his boss monster is pretty much dead. He tries to Dark Hole. Then I use my Obliterate to return my Kaiju back to my own hand. But for some reason, when he activates Twin Twisters, he targets Waterfront and this card instead of just these two. Because Waterfront with 5 counters, that's not gonna die anytime soon. I guess he just didn't know what Waterfront did. But yeah, normally with when their Waterfront is with 5 counters, the smart choice was to select those two, which he didn't. So my Obliterate's gonna die, but I use Avarice to return 5 and get to draw 1. And yeah, he's left with nothing. Both of my Kaijus are safe in the hand, and then after that he just gives up. So those are some of the replays to show you how well this deck does. This deck does have, I would say, 60 to 70% chance of winning. It really depends on what this deck is supposed to be, what it's up against. But in terms of playability, it was definitely made as a fun deck, not really made to take on the meta. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Give us a like, subscribe, and also let us know if there's any other fun or meta decks that you want to do, and me and Hades will be able to see to it. Alright. Have a good day, guys. Lucky out.